coming to you live from the sunburnt country. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
G'day and welcome to the 104th episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. I am Lord Powerslave and I am joined by none other than Mylan Games and Real Time Sloth. It's evening here. It's a bit out of the ordinary. We're all having a beer, I think, but we come with great tidings. In fact, we're gonna jump into this straight off the top of the episode because we received thanks from a good dear friend of ours this week that we did not in any fucking shape, way or form deserve. But that silly video that you might remember that Rick made for our Man-at-Arms for everyone playing the home game, that he made as sort of a tribute to Australia and our silly way of life and all that sort of stuff that we ran in our 100th episode. He whacked that up on YouTube. And he sent us a message on Friday, was it? To thank us. This is insane because it passed 100,000 views for some reason. He's become an Australian icon.
It's like it's such a rush to have a video go viral, so to speak. You know, when it gets sort of onto recommended feeds and gets up to 100,000, and it couldn't have happened to a better bloke. Like we've been saying that Man-at-Arms just deserves so much more traction and so many more views than what he gets, and he's just so talented to come up with that with those, like, you know, we don't give him any direction. We're like, hey Rick,
nothing at all. That's what he's like. Oh, thank you guys for this, and I'm like, mate, we didn't fucking do anything.
We didn't fucking do nothing.
We didn't do anything. And seriously, I looked just before. It's past 150 now, so it's just picking up steam.
As I said to him, like, this is what anyone starting off on YouTube looks for. This is that video that takes off. Now it's about following up, producing more content, and hopefully that, you know, the next 50,000 that view that then watch a couple more videos, and
I mean, I don't know how much crossover. I don't know how much crossover there is between a piss take video largely about Australia and fucking Peregrine Greaves.
Peregrine Greaves.
That's the unfortunate thing, right? Is that one of his videos that was the only video that was off topic, took off. That's the shit thing.
Make hay while the sun shines. It'll end up, he'll be able to fucking monetize his YouTube and all that sort of shit off it. And, there's a lot of views. And honestly, it's one of those things that it's kind of like not pertinent to a particular time. So it'll probably just roll on. I can see us in a few months sitting here going, can you believe that stupid video just went past 1 million views?
I've never broken 1 million views. I've never had any video that's got there. I think the closest I've ever got is like 600,000 or something.
I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal right now. When Rick passes 1 million views on that video, we'll get him on and he can tell you how to do YouTube. There you go, Man-at-Arms, you beautiful son of a bitch. You deserve it. Anyway, dudes, how are we with this fine week? It's been a big week in Destiny. We've had the Black Armory drop. We're looking forward to the dawning, and we've had just another civil war in the community. So there's plenty to discuss. There's plenty to discuss. We sort of thought we'd take a different tact with this evening's episode. We normally do what we call an open forum after content drop. We're not set up technologically to be able to do that at the moment. There was a few issues last time we did it. Matt couldn't hear things. There was people, a lot of breaking up voices and things like that. So we're still working on how to do that more effectively. But in this episode, what we're going to do, we're going to blast through the TWAB and talk a little bit about the dawning coming next week, whatnot, that sort of shit for about 10 minutes. We're going to punch straight through it. And then we're going to get into our thoughts, your thoughts, everyone's thoughts on Black Armory and where it sits for them. So this is going to, I'm going to bring the chat up. It'll be on the screen the whole time. You'll be able to put forward your ideas. They'll be recorded for fucking YouTube posterity for forever. But seriously, just anything. We will discuss anything that is put forward with the right tone, with respect. If you've got a perspective, we want to hear it. So. We sort of talked about this a little bit. Sloth and I have had a bit of a conversation about it, and it's probably as far as being on opposite ends of the spectrum as we've ever been. So I think it makes for a good discussion, and hopefully we can all learn a little bit out of it about appreciating other people's perspectives and maybe not just writing angry tweets like I did through the week.
Log's got some regret, dude.
I don't know that I don't regret it. I still stand by what I said, but I might not have been so hard.
Yeah, okay. All right. Strong. Came out swinging round 1 when you should have saved some stamina for round 2, 3, 4, and 5.
It worked for Jeff Horn, so I just adopted the strategies. I only had 90 seconds in me though. So anyway, let's jump straight into the 12. We'll play a bit of music. All right, let's do it. It's not much of a fight, Matt. You don't need to worry about catching it up. You can probably just go and watch it now.
Yeah, but we all sort of want to see Anthony Mundine knocked out, though, don't we?
He got flogged up, and I couldn't have been happier.
Righto.
I couldn't have been happier.
Let's. We've got enough divisive fucking subject matter to get on. Let's do the Destiny shit, right? Slothy, do you want to? You are our official narrator, so you can punch through the TWAB summary that I ungraciously lifted from Reddit about half an hour ago.
Yeah, sure. Let's give it a bit of a look-see, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, this week at Bungie, the 6th of December, 2018. As of December 11th, Prime engrams will now drop more frequently with larger power bumps for players under 600 power. The Scourge of the past raid teaser, we'll get into the raid and we'll discuss that in a little bit. Tier 1 gigs, Riot and all of the T1 guys got the world's first, and like I said, we'll have a chat about it. Scourge of Nothing emblem will be rewarded to players who complete the raid in the first 24 hours, as per the usual. The exclusive raid jacket will be available to those who complete the raid before 9 a.m. Pacific on the 12th of December. Power ammo spawns for competitive control clash and survival showdown and rumble have been changed to increase the time between each spawn. Please see the top for more detailed info. In January, rapid fire snipers will be moving to a 2 body shot kill. A 2-shot body shot kill. Interesting.
Rapid fire. More snipers are coming.
In a future patch, Bungie are also considering allowing snipers to be able to one-shot supers on headshots.
You know what?
Well,
I'm okay with that. I've always thought it was weird that you couldn't do that. So,
but this is the thing. Unless you're moving, you pop your super when you're moving, and even then, you pop your super when you're moving. You're still in that animation. That you're still in that super animation.
There's gonna be a lot of that, like where you're mid.
It just reminds me of D1 with. Do you remember the D1 snipers that had, what was it called? Over penetration.
Yeah, whatever it was. Over peno.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people will just change. Like you'll have to pop your supers in cover like you used to. That's what you used to have to do. You couldn't just fly from there and pop it midair knowing that your damage resistance is going to go through the roof, so you can just tank everything before you get there. So
I think it'll add an element of, there's some roaming supers right now that are fucking horrific, and literally all anyone does is run from them. It'll add that ability for people who back themselves and their ability to snipe them.
I want to see? I just want to see a parody of Duck Hunt with a Titan doing a super across the map, and then just four Guardians with snipers just trying to ping him out of midair with a headshot.
And then when he gets killed,
and just the Duck Hunt music, and just like going across.
And when they don't kill him, the dog pops up and fucking laughs at him. I'll be the Titan, man. I'll gladly be the Titan in that fucking.
But yeah, so that's coming. There are no plans to alter Sniper Flinch anymore currently. Nova Warp is too OP and is planning to be tweaked in a patch coming in late January. You know how they can fix that? and I mean I'm not being an asshole or anything like that. Just lessen the blast radius, because the blast radius is fucking huge.
I agree.
It is so big. It is so big.
Well, it's an atomic bomb, so yeah, it's big.
Shut up.
Fucking Titans.
Fuck Warlock, mates.
Boy.
Buffs to pre-forsaken subclasses in a late January patch. Ooh. GG. Titan Slam.
What about Stormcaller, man? That needs a bit of work. Stormcaller.
It's nasty.
I don't know. I mean, we don't touch Warlocks in this podcast. Get out, Matt. In the late January patch, Lesso's bolts to kill will now match its charge rate. So if you only fire, if you only fire, like only charge it a little bit, then it only fires 3 bolts, 4 bolts, 5 bolts, 6 bolts, blah 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 blah. Interesting. Bungie are looking into Titan scaling on PC, but it isn't such a simple fix. It'll take a while for them to output a solid solution. Thank you.
So when they say that you'll still be able to do it, they're talking about like macro skating, right? Or are they talking about?
They're talking about macro skating.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would do it. If you
have skill, you could still do it, but
I don't know how they would do it. But if they could get rid of macro skating, I would be very happy. And that's me as someone who likes shoulder charge, who loves Titans. But macro gives you the advantage. It gives an unfair advantage, I guess. Is
so
what I could say.
I mean, other things like today, I was just doing some strikes, and the guy was Titan skating, and like I appreciate that people want to get through strikes quickly, even though like I technically want to record a strike so I actually have some gameplay footage. And I just did 3 strikes in a row, which was literally me just running to try catch up to this dude, and then dying to all the hordes of enemies that were left in his wake, and then him just getting blockaded because nobody was with him when he finally got to an area that he couldn't run through. I'm like, dude, I don't get why you're just running through all this stuff. Like, you have to wait for us. I get it if you're in a team and you're speed running or whatever, but
strikes aren't to be run at speed. Just to be run as a team, as a fire team per se. It's like this game has a fucking feature that brings people into fire teams.
So that'd be interesting, I guess. Like,
I think it's less focused on PvE though. I think it's definitely a big focus in PvP.
Yeah.
Because
PvP.
Titans, if you're average at PvP like the three of us, a Titan skating, line rampants wearing one-shot shoulder charge or running a shotgun or something like that. It's just, it's if they change that. Aces.
Yeah.
Good luck on trying to come up with a fix to that. Good luck. The Dawning starts on the December 11th and finishes on January 1st. Another.
Have you seen all these like recipes? Have you seen all this like recipe stuff?
Yeah, I looked at it and I'm like,
I have not.
Oh my god, I was a bit in depth.
Making
cookies and shit.
I've read the lore tabs and they have like. Maybe the recipes come from the lore tabs. I don't know where they data mined it from, but like, yeah, there's a little bit of cooking involved where you've got to get different materials, different resources to put together to make like cookies and stuff. And they're all like, they're all puns. I think I saw one that was like, it was like a mode of dark or something, but it was like a dark cookie, a mode of dark cookie or something like that. You know, like for the drifter. You know, that
was very punny.
Right, that wasn't very funny. I can't remember the exact.
Honestly, Matt, I hope you ruined it. I hope that it's not that bad in the actual game.
Destiny 2 update 2.1.2 will go live on December 11th. Timeline for this is to be finalized. Season of the Forge. Known issues include blind wall matching leading to empty instances, players not receiving powerful gear from Mars Flashpoint, and Harbinger's Echo Sparrow not being rewarded to eligible players. Did you guys see the tweet from Bungie in regards to the blind wall? Just stick to the right wall and go as slow as you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least someone who at least the people who are running the Twitter account are having a little bit of fun.
Well, that's the second thing this week, because the first thing was I had, Protheon or whatever his name is, that was like 3 times the fucking size.
Dude, that was so funny.
And then Blizzard
Swalleon.
Entertainment underneath it. Oh Lord, he coming!
What was that just from the Black Armory patch that goofed up that
I don't know. I think it must have been, because I've not seen it before. You'd think that in the year that's interceded between launch and now, that it would have come up if it was anything that wasn't sort of just administered recently.
When I saw that tweet, there was a meme that I was reminded of from CS:GO. I am in awe of this lad, and it's just this 7-foot dude that's as wide as a fridge, and his little tiny 4-foot wife, and this dude's going.
Oh, I wish I saw that before they took it out of rotation. That strike.
It's just when he first comes through the portal, the warlock or whatever the character, the person who was playing was just like.
Do you know what I saw on Reddit? Like, I saw on Reddit that was like, don't, because everyone's like, can we please have a massive boss? And then there was just like massively uprated Reddit post. It was like, if Bungie gives us a massive boss, you better not complain about bullet sponges and tiny crit spots. Like, you plebeians, like, fine, you get like the King Kong of bosses, but it's gonna have like this tiny crit spot and it's gonna have heaps of health. Okay,
we have a massive boss.
Yeah, well,
we have a massive boss that we will talk about soon. As soon as I saw it, it went through my head as soon. Yeah, you know what? I went through my head as soon as I saw the boss.
I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything of the raid. This is what's with us. Usually, it's
normally the other way around.
No.
I'm not looking. I'm not spoiling anything.
That concludes the news. That concludes the news, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have any questions,
I must play music on the way out. I must end this segment with some finality. We'll be back, and we're going to bring the chat. Geez, a preamble to that was longer than the thing itself. That was stupid. Anyway, good. Here we are. Hello.
All right. So, that was the news, guys. So, if you want any more details, check out the 12. When I didn't go in blind this time. This time. I sat down last night with my community in Discord and watched Polar's stream of Redeem, Tier 1, Indica's group, Fami's group, CG, Lulu, Slayerage, and I can't remember the last dude. But I sat down and watched that because I come to the conclusion that I will play Destiny when I want to play Destiny, and I'm going to grind. I'm going to get up to 650 in my own goddamn time. I've got months to do it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to sit down and watch my favorite Destiny casters do the raid and have fun with it. And so I had that.
So without spoiling mechanics or bosses, what's your sort of first reaction to the raid? Like, where does it sit in the hierarchy of raids?
It's very interesting because how do I put this without saying spoilers? The first area, like, it is a huge, like, the areas of each part are massive.
Mm-hmm.
It is very combat focused, not so much on the working bits and pieces, the mechanicals, but it is very combat focused.
Mm-hmm.
And like, just going through it, when the teams that I was watching first loaded into the area, I really, really liked it. I was in awe, for lack of a better term. I was in awe.
Because, I mean, it's in the city, right? I mean, everyone knows that. Like, it's a interesting landscape because I don't know, technically, when I think of a city, I don't feel like that would make a good raid location. So I'm sort of interested to see what it looks like in there and like what they do with it.
Well, I mean, also in the first area, there's a lot of verticality, not just large as in a large arena. It is a large arena, but there's also a lot of verticality as well because it is in the city. And it's really cool. There's like, I had like people were trying to figure out how to do it. They were hitting things that couldn't be hit and doing things that couldn't be done, or all that sort of good stuff. And it was fun to watch.
This raid was what, cleared in a couple hours? Is that correct?
1 hour and 47 minutes for tier 1. Second place is 2 hours 4 minutes. Third place was 2 hours and 4 minutes. Literal seconds.
Oh wow.
So Fami got pipped at the post.
Really?
Fami got pipped at the post for second. Fami, yeah, he was, yeah.
Did he end up having some good viewership? Did he end up having people watching, or?
I think he topped out at about 100 odd.
Well, that's pretty good.
Good.
Yeah. So I mean, it was good.
So this obviously feels like. So do you think this is a smaller raid, or is it just that everyone had a higher light level?
It is a small raid.
Okay.
I've seen people say it's about raid lair size.
It is. Think Crota. There are 4 encounters, but only 2 of those encounters are boss encounters.
And you said, like, I'm okay with that. Like, I've only done like Last Wish once. Like, I still need to do Last Wish, and I got carried hard with Ninja. I haven't even done it properly.
I watched that stream, man. I've never seen more Yoda in the backpack. Fucking.
Dude, by the time I scoped in on enemies, they were dead. The bosses were over.
What do you want me to do? Stay over there and don't die.
Get in the backpack, Mylan.
Trying to get some footage.
It is a short raid, and when it finished, I sort of said to the people in Discord, and I typed in Paula's chat, "Is that it?"
Yeah.
Just like no, I better not say that. Just like someone's wife when their husband finishes too quickly. Like it's just is that it?
I wouldn't know anything about that, mate. You can speak from experience.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's bigger than Eater of Worlds slightly. It is a people like we argued. We legitimately yelled at each other the other week because people were saying it's a raid. No, it's a raid lair. It's a raid. No, it's a raid lair. Motherfuckers, it is not Last Wish length or King's Fall length, but it is.
I think it's like
not Crota.
You know what?
It's bigger than Crota, but not by much.
You know what? I kind of, for me, and it's been raised in chat. You know, like the time investment. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that we've got a shorter bit of content. That's the end game, right? Like. Being able to blast through Crota in fucking 40 minutes or whatever without taking it too seriously back in the day was good. It was like you could nearly do that.
I love doing that.
You just go through and pump through it and have a chat while you're doing it and all that sort of stuff. Last Wish is, I mean, at least for me, because I'm still, I mean, admittedly scrub level, but like it's there's a lot of mechanics. There's a lot of talking needs to be happening throughout the whole thing, and there's a lot of coordination.
This is a raid that you could do on the spare of the moment, right? Like, hey, we've actually got like 6 people in Discord. Like, we're all in chat. Do you want to quickly bang one out? Rather than like, chill, sexual.
Giggity. You've started here.
Giggity.
Adam.
Giggity. Rather than, like I feel like if I do Last Wish, it's like a day's notice, guys. Like, be prepared to at least put a couple hours in.
I mean, literally every time we've done it together, it has been organized on a fucking Wednesday for a Friday night. Like, it has been this, like, okay,
it still takes you 4 fucking hours to get it done.
Yeah, and we get fucking Jug to carry us, so we still fucking fail. Jug and Sass are just like the double backpack from heaven, and we're the fucking dead weights from hell. It's
no, it's I don't know. Okay, like I said, it's combat based, but there are mechanics in it that the mechanics are good. They're not super mechanical, but they are. Yeah. They're good for what they are. When it finished, it was I out loud. Is that it? Because I was having a conversation with someone in my chat and in my Discord, and I said, "Oh, they're not even at the Armory yet. There's got to be more to this."
Yeah. Well, let's transition now to like, you've seen this now, and we've seen some content for Black Armory. Let's jump into that because I haven't spoke to you guys have spoke to each other, but I haven't spoken to you yet about my sort of thoughts on Black Armory.
So basically, Matt, like we said last week, take some time off. Don't make any videos or anything like that. What did you do? Make videos and worked on YouTube instead of playing the fucking game. You're covering it, the goddamn law.
You know how it works. It's never.
Did you see my last video? I did a face cam.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't watch that one.
I've already told you I don't watch your fucking video.
Yeah. Okay, well, who wants to kick it off?
I'll kick it off because for mine, right, I like, and admittedly, I'll probably put the least amount of time into it as everyone else, but I jumped in, did the sort of the start of the Black Armory quests and whatnot, and played through it, and got to the point where I went to the Forge and got my ass kicked, and I went, okay, I'll go on level and I'll come back. And for me, I didn't feel like that was a bad thing. I went, okay, like, I mean, I was playing with mates at the time, and it was like, oh, we'll go and play some Gambit and whatever else. And, there was other things I'm still doing. I haven't got Breakneck yet because I'm a moron, because I fucked the quest up, as I said last week. But so I'm still trying to do that, and there's still a few things I'm going to do. So there's still, for me, I didn't feel like sort of being pushed back out into the general content, or the previous content of Destiny was particularly like a bad experience for me. Sort of. So since then, like, I've had a couple of goes at it, and I still haven't done the Armory. So I'm kind of still inspired.
The first Forge, right?
I still haven't done the Forge. Sorry, that I'm mixing it up. So I still haven't done the Cabal Forge, but I don't know. Like, part of me, like, I do now understand why people were pissed off with it, and I guess not everyone comes at it from my perspective. But I like the idea of being given something that was, well, I mean, more effectively, not being given anything. Like, they're like, okay, here's this new challenge that's in your world. Go and achieve it. And if you can't achieve it out of ability, you need to raise your light and you need to work harder at it. And that's the end of it.
I think like seeing Black Armory now, I think it becomes really obvious why they weren't calling it a DLC, because it is, I haven't said, like, the reason why we moved this podcast is because I was invited to the pub to have a couple beers with a fellow clan in Western Australia, WA raid clan here. So thanks guys for the invite. And I was talking to them about, like, what does it mean to be, what does a season mean in Destiny, right? Like, we know what seasons look like in like Fortnite. We know what seasons look like in Call of Duty. What does, and maybe you can answer this, Sloth, because does World of Warcraft have seasons? And what does that look like?
DLC seasons. So they have events and all that sort of thing, but they have DLC seasons. So Frozen Throne was a full DLC with a full backstory, with cinematics and all that sort of thing, and you had to grind. And when I say you had to grind, motherfucker, you had to grind.
Yeah.
Grind new stuff or grind stuff?
Grind new stuff. New stuff. Each DLC, except for the possibility. Now, I haven't looked into it because of my World of Warcraft addiction. I'm a recovering addict, for lack of a better term.
We're just basically asking a smacky, hey, man, have you tried this particular type of heroin, and can you tell us about it?
No, but every World of Warcraft DLC has brought a very large section of the map. Mists of Pandaria bought Pandaria. Cataclysm bought he changed up the whole map entirely. Frozen Throne brought the wastes. It was you can't compare the two, as far as I'm concerned, with the season of the Forge, of the Joker, of Penumbra versus Frozen Throne, Cataclysm, Battle for Azeroth.
Yeah.
Blah,
well,
blah,
I mean, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, what? I guess my question is this: do you think in a looter shooter that's like Destiny, that has different aspects from different genres. Is a season okay to not be able to access it on day one? Is it fine to have to find a couple other activities to access that season?
In that vein,
Okay.
if you were to purchase World of Warcraft now, having never played it, would you be able to jump into the brand new end game content without doing any of the previous stuff?
What you can do right now
at level 600, because you still couldn't do it. So I'm talking like continuing players.
Yeah, true.
At max level, and you go into the next season, right? I don't have an issue with it, but like, let's just say you're at 600, you're going into the next season. Is it okay? Because you couldn't do the armory at 600. You had to go and do a couple other things before jumping.
You could. I know people who did.
Oh, sorry, you could, but it wasn't really time efficient. It was more time, hard, unless you were really good. It was more time efficient to go do some of your dailies and do some of your engrams and whatever,
absolutely,
and come back to it.
My thoughts on Black Armory. The opening cinematic, fantastic. Ada, awesome. I like the fact she met us with absolute hostility. She met us with absolute hostility.
You know what? And that's funny, because I wanted to say that, Sloth, is that like I get the same vibe off Ada as I get off you. Like when we go to start I'm a nuisance.
I know we're gonna be friends, but I know you don't like me.
Yeah, this is an uneasy truce. Anyway, progress.
I roll for our audio only listeners. I fucking roll. In regards, I love Ada as a character is good. Like she doesn't trust Guardians. From a lore perspective, I was like, how did she not know that the new tower was being built on top of her?
Look, that has been a massive question that even I got asked today at the pub, and there is, as far as I'm aware, there's no sort of backing for why she would have snuck, because that would have been newly built, right? Oh no, that was another tower, because there was actually multiple towers along the wall.
Yeah, they just moved into that tower, didn't they? They just occupied.
Yeah, so
but I mean,
look, don't worry about that.
And I was moving into a place that was full of spiders, I'd fucking make sure that I'd get a broom and brush out all the fucking spiders.
Hey,
no,
just leave one little down there with a lot of weapons, and I'm just gonna guardian comes through, I'm gonna blast you with a shotgun.
I would pencil that down to convenience. Don't worry about that. Pencil it, because Ada has some really good lore, and I'm interested to how this is going to. Because people haven't discovered it yet, and it got released when they completed the raid, very similar to how the first curse, the curse was unleashed when Riven was defeated, right? So it's sort of this developing story. So you can actually get journals from the founder now randomly drop, and you can start learning
after you have beaten Scourge of the Past.
No,
everyone.
Just the Valunda. Yeah, everyone can, after the first team defeated Scourge of the Past, it unlocked.
All right. So back to the thought process. So go and visit Spider, go and visit Ada, come back, go grind, do the stuff, get to the Forge. I got a message from a friend of mine. He said, "Hey, do you want to come do some Forge?" I'm like, "Cool, let's go do it." I was streaming at the time. We stepped in there and promptly got our heads booted up our asses and thrown into the chasm on the cliffside.
Curb stomped. Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I looked in the director again. I was like, "The fuck do I do?" Went back to Ada. All of the stuff was grayed out. I was like, "Fuck do I do?" And someone in chat said to me, "You've got to grind the old stuff." And the fear, like I was so incredibly, I audibly, what? And it just the underwhelming, like the wave, the tidal wave of underwhelming feelings towards Black Armory happened. Obviously, that has changed. I've had more of a think about it, but initial thoughts of Black Armory was very underwhelming.
Yeah, some people, that's not good. That's not good to sell copies, sell season passes.
Now people seen. I saw Paul Tassie's
Yeah.
write up about it,
Sloth.
which
Sloth.
no, I'm being, I'm being
Everyone's got their.
Um,
If this was the Wild West right now, everyone would be looking at each other at the corner of their fucking eyes with their with the fucking pistol grip, man. Everyone's just feathering the trigger right now. Everyone's just fucking hovering over their 6-shooter.
No, it's like all right. So I saw Paul Tassi's write up, and I gave it a read. Gave it a read rather. From a person who has never done Black Armory, who has never done Destiny 2, or is new to the game.
Well, he's not new. He's been around.
No. He's covering it. No. He speaks better from that perspective.
Yeah, new to the game or anything like that, they wouldn't understand what Black Armory was. And it is, for Bungie, it is brand new. It is uncharted waters. These guys are running with no maps. They are just trying to make everything work. Now, he said it's not worth it. It's underwhelming. And to a degree, for someone coming into that new content, it was underwhelming. It was.
I think so.
But a chat with my community and with several other communities sort of opened my eyes to the fact that they said it wasn't traditional content. Cool. They said it would be released over time, just like they've done with Forsaken. We are still finding things in Forsaken that people haven't seen yet. We're still finding things from Forsaken post-launch 3 months. It is a time-based content. And you don't have to buy it to get to light level. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to do the new raid to get to light level. You don't have to. So I was underwhelmed at the start. I understand where the game's coming from now. I understand where they're coming from, and I'm excited to see where they go with it. Some very weird design choices. Some very odd design choices, i.e. putting things behind a power level. Now, was it good that they changed the power level from knocked it back 5? I don't know.
See, my concern with that,
don't know.
My concern with this, and I kind of always looked at the Forges as content that, irrespective of which order they were released in, were always going to be kind of pertinent, like things that you would go back and need to be like dabbling in, for want of a better word, as time went on. My concern with them dropping the level of the Forge was that it would then become something that would, it'd be the one that's, that one's a breeze. So if there's something that comes down the line, you've got to do
the
X amount of Forge completions or whatever.
The Forges have different weapons and armor, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they're going to be
you can look like a Viking. You can look like a Weeble. You can look like a Frenchman coming in from the grape harvest.
So they all have different sets, basically. They've all got full sets of armor and weapons.
Yes. I believe.
Okay.
I believe so.
Because I guess you look now at the roadmap, right? You got 3 Forges, you've got the new raid, and an exotic quest, and the other stuff's your Crimson Days and your Dawning, which you really don't belong in the annual pass. They're stuff they
they
don't
things
you get anyway. Like they're on the
people are comparing the content of the annual pass to those events. Stop it.
But what I'm saying, Sloth, is they're on their roadmap, right? And it looks like it's part of Black Armory, but
it'll be there anyway. It's really just part of the scene.
There anyway.
So if you take them out, what you got with Black Armory was a raid, and 3 Forges, which are essentially survive 3 waves. Unless I don't know. Have you guys played Go Fanon Forge? Is it the same? Is it just 3 waves of enemies and
haven't even logged on?
Jug is saying 4 Forges.
Yeah, Go Fanon, Volander.
Oh, sorry, I'm missing one.
And
Niobe. Sorry, my bad.
Sorry, yes, you are correct.
Because it's called Niobe Labs. That's why I didn't say it.
So it's just wait and see. As painful as it is, ladies and gentlemen, it is a wait and see kind of project. As I said, this is uncharted waters. It's not a live service. It is uncharted waters, time gated, power gated, this, that, and the other. We will just have to wait and see what happens.
Maddie,
I think
what did
for
you
the
think?
issue. So I think there's multiple issues here. I think the first issue, which was the one that really smacked you in the face, is having to go back and do older content to participate in new content,
which is a weird design choice.
And I think Bungie immediately recognized that, and that's why they changed it straight away, because it doesn't make sense. I think it's reasonable if you're like 580 and they have a season change. I think it's okay to say you need to go back and do some other stuff. But there's been plenty of time between now and this season, and like I know people just think YouTubers play games all day. You guys, yeah. You guys know that. I reckon I probably play maximum 4 hours of Destiny a week with some stuff I'm trying to balance, if that. And
That's the biggest fucking misnomer of all time, isn't it? Like,
right.
All the time that we like. I mean, it's especially Matt. Like, it's fucking rare that I see Matt on ever. Normally it is. I see Matt on when we organise that we're all going to get on to do something, and that's it.
And even then, I'm like, guys, we're on the fucking clock, all right? I've got
let's get in the game. Let's get the shit done. Let's
before
dinner.
Got to get it in before. I mean, admittedly, we had a good time the other night when we were playing, but still,
yeah. So I think the expectation should at least, if you max out between seasons, you should at least be able to step into the new activity, and it'd be hard, but be able to complete it. I think that would be a reasonable sort of suggestion.
The original light levels are 610. Sorry, the 615, 620, 625.
Yeah.
I actually thought that
was it 625 or was it 630?
It was
630 originally.
Oh, was it 630? Wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was.
I was perfectly okay with that, even if I wanted to. Even if I wanted to do it, I'd and there's no point in complaining about it. You just got to get in and do it, Now, and that point also came up as well, Matt. So a young man that I affectionately call my son in my channel, in my community, he came in last night and he said, there are people complaining that they can't do the Forge at 580, 590. Finish the old fucking content first,
I think
morons.
I think that is a fair comment.
I think so too.
And do you know the other thing? This is what someone at the pub told me, was that why didn't we just do a lead in? Like, we had the update a week before.
Yeah, I've seen that idea floated. I've seen that idea floated, and I thought it was a good one.
And then you get all the people, all the shit people going like, oh, only streamers get time to do this. Only people with no jobs get. Give them a week to do your power engrams.
I'll give you
and just start dropping them higher.
I'll give you another fucking little tidbit, right? We've seen this mechanic already. The horror story light bump, right? Like, you get that fucking. Remember when? I mean, I don't know where you guys were at when you got that gun, but for me, I was at like 585 or something. I wasn't particularly like close to 600. I went and I got the horror story, and the increase in power that I was getting out of every drop after that. Like, honestly, that is the only reason that I was 600 when this new content dropped.
Yeah.
Because I got that boost. So hear me out. If we were to do like a telegraphing event that was going to start the season, because this, start the season, and you go in, say there's a lead-in mission, and you get given a weapon or a fucking whatever that's at, say, 610, 615 in this context, and it gives you the ability to go and grind and prepare for the new content, going, okay, well, if it's giving me a gun at 610 or 615, that's probably where I need to be. Go and do your prime engrams, do your weekly, do your daily stuff, grind it out, and it gives you a bump to get you there. I think that's a fucking great outcome.
Look,
it could be a cool weapon.
What if they just made Breakneck and the friggin' fusion rifle? What if they dropped it at 610? Then you would be 605.
No, I wouldn't, because I don't know the fucking thing.
You'd be 601.
What would you be if you had
but
610, all weapons are 600?
If you had all 600 and then you got the loaded question or the breakneck to drop at 610 or both, you would be maximum 601.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing. If you could seek that weapon out early and then get subsequent drops after it, they drop heaps higher. And then I'm using that as an example of a way that isn't just an arbitrary boost to light, to go out, do something in the world that helps you further your case and raise your power level without it being.
Anyway, I think the general idea is they already had a week lead in to the season change, and it makes sense to have a gradual change in the season. So, I think they probably should consider mechanics of gradually increasing.
You know what that week lead in though was, Matt?
What?
It is for testing, to make sure
you get any thick boys.
To make sure the structure of the content is solid in the sandbox, to make sure that it is solid in the structurally, so when 6 million people jump on it, it's not all going to collapse in a big steaming pile of heap.
I understand that, but still, I think if they can,
though, like that it wasn't optimal with what happened with the launch of Black Armory.
Yeah,
it wasn't optimal to, like, I don't have an issue with it because I'm going to do it anyway. And I don't mind doing it. And I don't mind it's hard. I don't mind I have to work for it. But I can 100% understand that it takes the wind out of the sail, especially if you're a content creator or a streamer. You're like, fuck yeah, Black Armory's here. And then like exactly what happened to you, Slop. You're like, you got to go do your old G.
They take it there. Yeah, all right. It locks it behind. It locks it behind a power level. It locks behind a time gate. You know what? Just fucking do it. You own it. Play it. The big part of all this. The big part of all this that I took away is that the people who are against the light level change say that all of this, or the people who are for and the people who are against these changes and are constantly throwing the shit over the wall at each other, are very, very vocal minorities. But they are saying, it's the season of the streamer, it's the season of the YouTube creator, and whatever they say happens. Motherfuckers, we weren't calling for the light level to be changed. Certain individuals were, but every other caster that I've spoken to, and I follow a fair few Destiny casters, and I went through a lot of their channels and I fucking asked them, I said, what do you think of the light level change? And they said, I'm not really too fond of it, honestly. You know what? If you're one of those little piss ants on fucking Reddit or Twitter who complain about it, if you are one of those people, pull your fucking head in. A, it's a game. B, if you weren't 600 by the end of 3 months of Forsaken, that is your fault, not anybody else's. Don't blame Bungie. Don't blame your favorite streamer or your not favorite streamer, your most hated streamer. That is on you, you fucking waste of oxygen. And if you are,
slow down, jump in, slow down, slow.
If you are one of these people that goes on the Twitter and complains about everything in this content with knowing that it's only been out for 4 hours.
Oh man, that was what
5 hours.
Honestly, that was what fucking flipped me.
3 days.
That was what flipped me.
Out doing that, pull your fucking head in. Pull your fucking head in.
Okay, so
I'm going for a smoke and a beer.
Look.
I'll have a beer with you in solidarity, man.
Look, that's a different issue. Like,
it is. It is.
There's an issue with reacting to content when we haven't seen it yet. There's an issue with doing that. And
when did that become a thing?
I don't know.
I know that.
Okay, so
I'm going to choose my words really
I've got two
carefully.
things with Black Armory, right?
Okay, go. Okay, shoot.
The first was that. The first was I just the not being able to play Black Armory when Black Armory released. All right, whatever that solution looks like, I think there needs to be something in place for that. The second thing is if you look at what's available, if you don't do raids, I'm still we haven't seen the other forges yet, or I haven't played them yet, but I'm still like a bit underwhelmed with this as a season because we're not getting the campaign. So I expected there to be just a lot of weapons, a lot of armor, a lot of cool stuff. And maybe we're going to see them in the other forges. and maybe I'm jumping the gun on that, but like, did the Vanguard get new gear set? Did the Crucible get new gear set? Did Gambit get new
No.
gear set?
No,
Like,
no on all accounts.
you know, like a
Unfortunately.
season for me in Destiny, I think should have. If you're not going to have a campaign, and you're going to say we've put all of our resources into into 4 seasons over a year, I think a raid is good value. I think matchmaking in Forges is a good start, but I guess
That's
the
a
whole
fantastic start.
I think the whole thing was that people wanted more loot, right? That's what happened with Destiny. And that's sort of what this whole path was about. Was like, okay, we're gonna cut the fat. We're gonna cut the stuff that takes up a lot of resources, like cutscenes, like expensive cutscenes and story. And we got heaps of lore. There's like 90 pages long, so don't worry about that. There's heaps of writing behind it if you want to search for that. But I sort of expected a lot of money resources to go into like just dope weapons, not just exotics, like everything. Do you know? Armor, weapons, and we haven't seen it all yet, but I'm a little bit concerned.
Interesting point, Jug. Jugzilla in the chat for audio only guys. The only thing that I wish they'd done differently was to put protections in place to stop the carryover of loot drops, i.e. stacking up bounties, keys, etc. I personally find World's First Race is more interesting when everyone has to deal with the delta scaling on top of the mechanics. This raid was akin to Wrath of the Machine, where some teams were at max power and didn't have to deal with that element. Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, there's a few changes that I would like to see across the board in Destiny, but let's instead of this isn't aimed at you, Jug. This is just me speaking off the cuff. Instead of ask for those changes, but embrace the changes that come as well.
Sometimes I feel like Sloth is just philosophical monk, man. And I know he's got wisdom there, but I just don't always get it.
He's just sitting out the back like some kind of Zen Buddha with a fucking dart in his mouth.
What I mean is that when Bungie does changes to the game, sandbox, weapon types, and all that sort of thing, people don't always embrace the change. They don't do that. They'd rather go onto Twitter and go off half cock, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think that particularly relates to what Jug's saying. I know exactly what you mean. I think it's one of those things that I mean, this is a concern.
Raid race is another conversation, right?
Yeah, let's touch on that in a minute. Let's touch on that in a minute.
What do you guys think about is the and I know in overall, if you boil it down, this is like $10, right? Because the season pass was $40 or whatever, right? So
works out to $11 a month.
When you think about it, value for money, is it there? You're like, yeah, but I still expected more too, and it's concerning me that I have that opinion because I'm obviously a fanboy, and I've got a good working relationship with Bungie, and so if I'm thinking that
Bungie fuckboy.
Bungie fuckboy. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think there's enough content here?
I'll pay that right now, and you got to remember that we are 5 days into 3 months. Yeah. We have no idea how staggered this thing is. We've seen the raid. Sloth thinks the raid's pretty good, but it's not as long. I mean, and we've seen a couple of forges. If the other forges go on to be the same size as, the forges that we've seen, and there's no real additional content that comes outside of that. Now, I've spoken to my boy Keg, my bestie for my lifetime, and he said that, once he completed the first forge, which I'm still too shit to do, there was bounties and things opened up, different things to chase, different things, different points of interest, and his way of putting it was he wished that that was better communicated, this was it's a real bottleneck, that first forge, to get that done, and then it kind of expands out. I think that if there's not a lot more depth than what we see with sort of the first forge, and there isn't a huge amount that sort of goes on chasing things in the world outside of that. I think like it's probably fair to say that for the player who doesn't do the raid, it's a little bit skinny. And I'll say that. And that is more based on the fact that not like I would be happy with the Forges being what they are if there was more guns and shit to be pursuing out in the world. Because I mean, and armor, more so armor than guns, if anything.
I guess,
because
like
that's
in my
Destiny,
mind,
man. Destiny is not about going and doing the raid and being aggressive. I'm telling you this right now, as an average piece of shit Titan, I don't play Destiny to do the raid and challenge myself. I play it to look very pretty. And while I look very pretty now, I haven't seen anything in the new offering yet that I think will be fetching on me. So, yeah.
Well, like,
That's
I guess, like,
pretty.
you know, if you compare, like, what I would be interested in is comparing once we see all the forges, right? When we see the content, I'm interested in knowing how many new pieces of gear were added with Black Armory. Actually, we can probably see that already in the database with with Black
Destiny
Armory
sets.
because I guess in my mind the
Shout
promise was we're going to take out the cutscenes and give you more loot. We're going to give the players more of what they want, which is loot. And I'm just feeling right now that it's just the cutscenes have been taken away and the loot's the same. But I don't know. Like that's that's just my sort of gut response at the moment.
You know what? I think that's fair. I think, look, the other thing that I've had pop up a couple of times. I mean, I'll put a tweet out that was kind of inflammatory, and you know, be that as it may, I got reactions from
kind of inflammatory. Sounds like an understatement.
I was pretty happy with the punchline. If you want to be spoon fed, spend your games money on fucking yogurt.
Oh yeah, I did see that. That was really good.
Yeah, I was happy with that. And you know what? At the time, I was eating some Chobani. I was into it, eating yogurt. It's like, yes, this is the perfect analogy. But I think that, like, the part of it that I didn't consider is that for people who maybe don't have a lot of time but love Destiny and love the Destiny universe and look to content releases as, you know, like I can jump in and play the story because I love Destiny. I love the story of Destiny. But I know that I won't have time to be grinding through things and all of that sort of stuff. Like I'm periodically play this game and then I go back to my life. And I have an ongoing interest in the franchise. There's really nothing for those people. And while I understand that it's kind of this balancing act of, you know, that content is time heavy and expensive and, you know, there's voice actors involved and all of this. And, you know, there's the resourcing issue that, you know, we want to, we as the larger part of the community sort of went, we want things to be doing all the time. I think that those people really do miss out. If that's you and you know you're out there sort of thinking like, then there's a few people that have said it to me, and I kind of it was probably more what started me backing down a little bit than anything. I feel for that. I feel for those people because like I think the draw card for Destiny for a lot of people is just simply the universe that it lives in. I don't think that like the ongoing gameplay is, you know, I mean, unless it's something you enjoy and it's a social thing like it is for, I think, the three of us, then, I mean, maybe it is just like playing the Halo story through, or, you know.
If you're having issues with finding things to do in Destiny and you haven't got any of the titles or you haven't done any of the lore, then maybe you should have a look at doing that too.
I don't think for this specific example, Slothy, it's not about that. It's about people who don't have the time really to commit beyond kind of, you know, say a week of putting in a couple of hours here and there to get through a story.
Well, that's a fucking them problem.
Oh, I'm aware.
It's a video game.
I'm aware, dude.
It's a video game, and you play it in your spare time. You can't expect to fucking get everything straight off the bat.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying.
No, you're not saying that. I'm making a fucking point, Luke.
No, you're making assumptions, and it's making me cranky.
All right, go fuck yourself.
No, what I'm saying
no,
is there are people who don't even have an interest in getting everything. They just want to jump in and experience a little bit of Destiny for a bit and then fuck off back to their life. And for them, there is nothing in this release at all.
And you know what?
It doesn't bother me personally, but I'm just saying that I've heard that.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Why don't you just be fucking patient, you pricks?
No, I get that, and I guess I hear this point too, because like, is this season like a push to more hardcore? Is this like away from casual? Is this like, oh no, you don't get to play it until you go back and finish your battle for engrams for the week, and then you can play it. And even then, like, you know, it's still tough. And even then, like, you know, the next major content really is the raid if you haven't done that. So like, this definitely is not very casual friendly at all. And I'm okay with that. I'm completely fine with that.
Honestly, me and Matt are
like
casuals, really.
Yeah, and like yeah, it's making my job fucking really tough. Like, you know the best thing.
Oh, the YouTuber's having a fuck. YouTuber's having a bad time. Oh, I'm sorry the YouTuber's having a bad time and not being able to
maybe
play
you should have been fucking grinding instead of going to the pub and hanging out with actual people. Hey, where's your commitment?
Now, I'm just referring to something that Keg actually put in the chat a while ago, but in regards to the Forge and people not being able to do it straight off the bat, you couldn't do blind well straight off the bat. The three of us couldn't.
Yeah, but there was a million other fucking things you could do.
Well, I mean, there are also old things now, but there are a million other things that you can do right now.
Yeah, I know. I look, you know, I think we're all on the same page, but we're also trying to empathize with people that aren't like us. I think that's what I'm trying to do. Is like, I don't have, you know, the issues I've brought them up already. I understand where people are coming from with not being able to play Black Armory on day one, and I also feel like my gut reaction at the moment is it's looking a little bit thin for removing a campaign. I expected more, but we haven't finished yet, and so I'm happy to hold that expectation until we get through all the content and make a judgment call there. So, you know, they're my main 2 points, and I'm trying to empathize also with people who aren't in my boat, who play Destiny differently. And I still feel like
no. Let me just interrupt you there and say people who play Destiny in general.
Period.
Yeah, period.
What did I say?
Yeah, you don't get to play Destiny very much.
Oh, okay, I get you.
He's implying you don't even play
Matt brain loading. Oh, okay, cool.
So, hey. This is remember that weird thing that happens when we like do these streams of a night, and Sloth's fucking nocturnal. In case you're new to the podcast, he's more switched on than us.
Yeah,
like I was like
switched on.
I was starting to like have a bit of a kip on the lounge before we even started. Sloth just woke up. I've got no hope.
Yeah. You know what I was doing at fucking 10 to 7 this evening? Lindsay was in the kitchen. Lindsay and the girls are in the kitchen cooking lasagna, which is fucking fantastic.
Lasagna is delightful. Yeah.
But I was fucking on the couch. I was having a snooze on the couch.
You know, so look, this is my question to you. Do you still feel like Destiny suffers from an identity crisis where they don't know where, you know, do you think they've really picked a path? You know, with Season of the Forge, should have they just gone, no, fuck yeah, this is what it is. You can't get into the Forge until you're 610. Go do your bounties, right? That's what seasons are going to be. That's intentional. We want to make it hard. And if you want to do the raid, it's going to be hard.
You want them to be a bit more direct with it.
What's that?
I agree. I agree with that.
You want them to be a little bit more direct with it.
I feel like they keep trying to play both sides, and they just need to pick a side and go with it.
Especially when
the hardcore side.
Especially when
grinders, hardcore players.
Especially when, for the most part, they were acting on what the community fucking told them that they wanted.
Okay, this is my fucking pet peeve. This is my fucking pet peeve. The Destiny community, I'm not going to use the mental health. I'm not going to use the mental health analogy. I'm not going to use that.
Yeah.
The Destiny community does not know what the fuck it wants. It flip-flops. They wanted more grind. Here's some more grind. Oh, it's too grindy. Oh, we want just short and sharp content that's concise, but actually is filled with lore. Here's this. It's too much. Oh,
And but see, I think
make your fucking nuts up.
look, right? No, think about this though. Is that not a symptom of a game not having a good identity? Because what happens is
100%.
if you try to cater for everyone, you're going to have all these microcosms of communities in that game.
Do you know what
cater
it is?
for
Whatever
everyone, you're
you
not catering
release, whatever you release is going to fail because it's not going to appeal to everyone.
Do you know what it
If you
is?
cater
Do you
for-
want
if
me
you
to
cater
tell
for
you
everyone, you
right
cater for
now?
no one.
Do you want to tell me? I'll tell you right now what it is a symptom of. It is a symptom of the fact that with Forsaken, they managed to fucking capture lightning in a bottle and appeal to fucking everyone at the same time. And the fact that we see this, they're like, look, there has been a lot of noise, and it's been a lot of noise from not the people that the previous lot of noise was from, right? Like, there are people who right now are going, why is there no fucking story? They were quiet before. Like when there was a group of people going, why is there no fucking end game? Well, I'm bored. I've run out of things to do. The people who were after the story were just, oh, okay, well, I've done the story. Cool. I'm happy. The thing that Destiny is struggling from right now is that the community is so big and so fucking diverse that the second they move off the fucking lightning in a bottle that is Forsaken, where everyone is happy, there is a fucking minority of players that are vocal, that are going to speak about, this is shit, this isn't what I wanted, when really it's just unfortunate that it's drifted into another camp's
always
fucking
going to be
thing.
this perpetual problem. Is that
it's going to be fucking back and forth.
Now they've had the Taken King, they've had Forsaken, right? They've done it twice now, where they've had these September releases that are amazing, but they haven't been able to keep pace, and it's also not reasonable to keep pace. But it's one of those things where they just fucking knock it out of the park so well.
Are they
that the expectation shifts?
Yeah.
Are they trying to? So obviously there is at this point in time, from what I can tell, there seems to be less people working on the newer content.
Oh, man,
that's how it seems to me at the moment.
I'm not even going to hazard a guess.
Well, no, this.
But
Black
no,
Armory
hang on.
Black Armory was VV.
Yeah, pump your brakes.
Okay.
Is Bungie as a whole, like the main part of the workforce, are they working on Destiny 3?
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't know.
That is the thing right now. Are they working on the
like,
next lightning in a bottle to make everyone happy?
You think about Activision, and you think about some of the shit that's come out about Activision recently.
Fuck Activision.
Hey, we're not doing that again. Can we not?
Yeah. But I mean, like, no, you're not doing it again. But I guess that comment is there are outside factors. You know, we often push the blame on Bungie when we don't understand what comes across their work desk, right?
No, yeah, you're right.
And they're the face that cops a punch when we don't know if it's like, well, guess what?
Well,
you got
to
we want most of your resources like going to D3, right? Because when you sell copies of D3, so you got to have a skeleton crew to put together forges and a raid. That's Black Armory, go. And then we're going to have another crew putting together. Well, I mean, this was VV anyway, I think. I'm pretty sure this was outsourced.
Yeah, it was VV.
It was Vicarious Visions, yes.
So Bungie didn't even work on this.
But it's
what are they doing?
It's not even Bungie that takes the punch to the face, Matt. It's not.
Devs.
You see many tweets that
it's the public devs. It's the devs who are public.
It's your Deeges, it's your Cosmos, it's your A damages, it's your fucking.
And my God, can we just give them a clap because we spoke about this.
You know what?
Like,
I'm going to give them this one.
Like, to put yourself out there, like I think we can empathize. I think one thing that I've noticed in our attitudes is we've become more empathetic to developers, and I think gamers in general seeing like the way publishers act, I think in general are starting to understand where developers are coming from, and I think that will slowly punches being thrown at devs will always be there because people are dickheads. But I think the community, like especially when like Luke Smith came out and said we weren't disappointed with Forsaken, regardless of what Activision said to them.
I'm actually really, as much as I've called him a troll in previous casts and all that sort of thing, I'm really fucking proud.
Yeah,
proud that I was really chuffed that he came out and defended the game like that.
Yeah,
regardless of what Activision's fucking influence is on Bungie, I'm really fucking proud that someone at the top of Bungie has come out and said, "Well, no, we're happy with it. Our community's happy with it with Forsaken."
Yeah.
And it wasn't something as crude as what we do, and basically saying "go fuck yourself," but it was a very, very muchly a sit down small publisher child.
I don't know. It's not even that. Like, to be honest, I think Luke Smith is a very cluey dude, and as much as he's been very loose with some of the things he said in the past, and he's returned to the shadows now. Well, God knows what he's cooking up, but I think he did his best with Destiny 2, delivering on what he was asked to deliver. I don't think that he was the guy. And I think that that's the fucking thing that we forget. And you're right, Matt, in saying that we forget that Bungie are in between the rock that is Activision and the hard place that is us. And we like every time I go on Reddit, and you could go on there right now. If you are on your computer, if you go on your computer right now, you scroll through the first page, you will see 30 fucking posts that say, "Hey Bungie, why is me?" And I think, fuck man, these people are just trying to do their job to the best they can, and they were probably just some artist that was like, you know what, I'd really love to work in games, and then they got to fucking achieve their dreams, and now there's just some fuckwit going, man, why are you doing this?
Someone said Activision's a problem for Blizzard. Activision is a problem for Blizzard now. If you've been following the gaming news, like that,
what's the gaming news?
It.
What's going on? Tell me things.
They had similar things with Activision. Basically, ex-Blizzard employees talking about when they merged with Activision, the slow change in culture from Blizzard making genre-changing games to Blizzard going, we need something every year, and now we don't have any new IPs after Overwatch, so we need to fucking work out how these sales and basically like employees having to justify every cent and crunch times when like CEOs are going home with millions sort of deal. Anyway, that's
now,
an old news story.
Away from the business side of things and away from the Bungie side of
let's
things.
move away from that.
Yeah,
World's first race. World's first race, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is going to give us plenty to rage about too, right?
Congratulations to Giggs and the T1.
Yeah, good on you, boys.
Rotto and Game Saga and all those guys. I'm sorry, I can't remember everyone in the team.
I can't remember what day it is.
Congratulations to the second team, some random, and Fami at third. Now, something happened last night. I finished streaming. I'm hosting a Polar. I was watching Polar, and someone in her chat said to me, not said to me, but said, "Oh, Goth's been kicked offline."
I didn't see this.
Okay. Goth's been kicked offline. I was like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting." And then they came back and said, "Now Broman and Char and Reb have been kicked offline as well." Okay. Went over there, opened up Goth's channel, opened up Broman's channel. They both switched over to their secondary networks because they're very large casters. They have secondary networks. And they kept repeatedly getting kicked off.
How did they have a different IP address on their second network?
Yes.
So how did they get hold of that?
So let me explain. I was wondering the same thing. And apparently it's as easy as /join, username, battle tag, go to the website, who's in your fire team, IP address there.
What?
They use the join fire team command to join Goth's fire team, get their IPs of Reb, Chariona, Broman, and Goth, and they grab their IPs, and it was they were kicked offline.
So we haven't seen this
Repeatedly.
before. I wonder
Repeatedly.
why. Like,
So,
but surely, okay. So surely though that person who joined their team to grab the IPs, surely Bungie can look at their account details because they would have had to
It'd have to be a mock-up account.
I
Well,
don't
you'd
know.
have to
Probably-
purchase
yeah,
it,
I don't
mate.
know.
No,
How would
I
you
don't
purchase
know,
it?
I don't know much
No.
about it, but if you're
Free
out there,
fucking weekends 3 weeks ago.
You
if
still
you're
need
out there,
Forsaken.
guys, and
Oh, maybe
you're
not.
and you're streaming and all that sort of thing, make sure your group is on invite only or clans and friends only of people that you actually trust. The join and invite function, as Jug has put in the chat, is to make LFG easier to ease up the strain on friends list, because on PC, the friends list is max at 200. And if you're constantly doing LFG, you're going to be constantly removing friends, adding friends, removing friends. They added that to make it easier. And it's a hell of a lot easier for casters as well if you don't want to add people to your friends list. You
So
go
wait,
invite
so
to
you type
blah.
it in the chat, do you?
Yeah, you type it in the chat box in the game. You go invite to
because that
to
was
fly
it. That
team.
was an issue because you always had to add people as a friend just to get them into your game if you were streaming. So they can.
Mhm.
What do? They just type join, and if it's open,
Yeah, it was legitimately joined Gathalion, whatever his battle tag was, jumped in, grabbed their IP, started kicking them all offline. Now, the thing that really frustrates me about this, and believe you me, I'm not going to raise my voice here because I'm actually really fucking pissed off about this. I don't watch Goth, Broman, Char, or Rep. I don't. Their content isn't for me, but they do this for a living. They do it. They do it for a living, but they also do it for fun. It just happens to be the living that they're doing for fun. And when Worlds first happened, they just want to hang out with their mates and they just want to play the game and try to attempt for World First because they're all very accomplished raiders. They're all very good Destiny players. Let them do their thing. Also, like if they're repeatedly being kicked offline, that's 30,000 viewers down the drain. Back up, 30,000 viewers down the drain. Back up.
See, like I just wish.
Fuck, man,
I know,
Destiny
I know
loses.
obviously, if they were doing it, they're probably using VPNs. You're not gonna find them or whatever. But I just wish, like those guys. That's their business, and they're very successful businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish they were like, you're right. This is illegal. This is messing with my business.
Kicking people offline. Not only is it fucked up beyond belief, it's also illegal in the US. It is a federal crime.
It's a fucking, as Ed said the other day when we were talking about it, it is a big boy crime.
It is
and
a
like
federal
when you
crime.
couple that with the profile of the dudes that you've just done it to, and the fact that if Bungie are out there and have any ability to help them, they will, because it's a fucking, when you think about the amount of viewership that they pull, that would have instantly
damages Bungie
it
too.
damages fucking Destiny,
Bungie
man.
as well.
100%. And they could even go to Twitch and do the same goddamn thing, because the person who apparently, now this is what the chat was reporting. It was very hard to follow the chat because it was just going flying by, as those chats tend to do. But apparently someone donated and said, I'm kicking you offline until you leave the raid or something like that. I don't know. Also, this happened to Slayeridge as well. Now, Slayeridge doesn't have second lines. He has a streaming PC, a playing PC, and the game. He got kicked offline when they got to the final encounter, and he couldn't get back online. They trashed his download. He could still play the game, apparently.
He couldn't upload. You mean his upload?
They trashed his download and his upload.
Oh.
But to the point where he actually couldn't stream. But so he hosted off to his friend Dom, who was in his fire team, and apparently they got it done. I don't know. I didn't have Slayer's tab up. I'm hearing this all through Polar's chat. But it is, yes, you are right, Sis Hero. Like, and it is a minor mistake on their part by not having it to friends and clan only. But they also are people who play with other people, and it was probably just there.
And it was a new feature too, right? So it's something
new feature. So as far as I'm concerned,
safety point of view didn't consider.
As far as I'm concerned, I hope if by some
they find that person, I fucking hope they do.
By some lightning strike, They find the people who hit like, and this isn't limited to those casters. This is everywhere. I hope that they find the people who DDoS. I hope that they do. I hope that they throw them in prison for DDoSing someone in a fucking game or bringing down the stream. I hope they end up in jail, like legitimately.
And
it is just.
And they're never going to get any King's Coast coffee ever.
It's such. I can't even imagine.
What kind of malicious fuckwit does that?
Like, and you know why? I think someone could go to soft. Oh well, you don't deserve to be in jail for that. But this is my response to that. What kind of mindset do you have to be in to do that? And if you think that this is the least of their crimes, it's probably not. Right. This is like, this is the beginning of doing some other bad shit, if not already have done that. This is, the people that do swatting and stuff, like they do it multiple times, multiple occasions.
And throw back
people
to the
found of that recently have gone to jail.
Yeah, he went to jail for swatting someone because he apparently he got someone killed.
He got a dude killed for it.
It's legitimately
Jesus.
I've been in a live stream where someone said you're fucked, and he was playing CS:GO and it was a big streamer, and the police busted in. He sat there with his arms like that because the person who rung up and said that he was murdering his girlfriend or something.
Mm.
It is legitimately it is so difficult to stop. A VPN, a proxy server, they all help with it. But if a dedicated person who wants to DDoS you, it will happen. And it's for silly reasons like, I don't like you, I don't like your stream.
It's probably not even that. It's probably just the opportunity to sit there and just, how powerful am I? I can fucking take this 30,000 people stream offline.
30,000 people, yeah.
Or I want to win at trials, or I want to win at competitive, or I want to win at this, or I want to win at that. You know how you win? Stop being a fucking parasite. Go and actually get good at what you are trying to do. And actually look yourself in the mirror. Maybe fucking give yourself, as Log said, 3 uppercuts. And,
that's my favorite quote, man.
Think about the fucking state your life is in, you absolute piece of excrement on the bottom of my shoe, or not even on my real fucking leg.
We need to go a step further. You need to give yourself at least a fucking Shoryuken. if you're that far gone that you're DDoSing.
Shoryuken, man.
Shoryuken.
So that was really unfortunate that they had to do that. However, they got the raid completed. They used Discord on their phones. I think Goth got Broman over to his place to use a second connection. So apparently they got it done. I don't know. I'll have to check, but it is legitimately, it's such scumbaggery. Now, as we said before, Gigs and T1 got first.
Good on you guys. Good on you.
Another streamer got second, and Femi got third. Now, some of the responses to T1 winning.
Yeah, there's been a lot of fucking garbage about that, man.
God, there's been some garbage.
Well,
I'm not gonna quote the person who brought this to my attention. I'm not gonna quote the tweet either.
So fill me in, because I missed out on this. What happened?
Someone has another partnered caster has not explicitly called out that Tier 1 had not explicitly called out Tier 1, but they inferred that Tier 1 were orchestrating the DDoS attacks to make sure they had the advantage.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
You need to send me
No.
this tweet.
It's in that chat. It's in that chat.
Name him. No.
In the chat of goodness, right? Yeah, okay.
In the chat of goodness. Yeah,
Okay.
look, it's in there. But it was brought to my attention, and all I can think about is you're salty. B, you've just pissed off Giggs and T1 and the rest of his community, which is not ideal. Not ideal. And 3, you've just made yourself look like a complete fuckhead. No, Jugs, I'm not. We don't. What we do here, what we do here, we don't call out people. We call them on their bullshit. But if you guys want to go out and find whoever it is that sent out those tweets and all that sort of thing, that's on you. The onus is on you. We are just reporting on the bullshit from some of the fucking bullshit from the Destiny community in regards to World's First and making sure they get the win and all that sort of thing. And that's a valid point too, Butters, is that Redeem didn't get hit offline either.
Well,
how much have you been practicing that Confused Revolta? That was really good. If you're listening to the audio only episode, what are we? About an hour and a half in, I think. Jump in, have a look. It was pretty good. It was worthy time.
But no, outside of all that complete and utter, and it is bullshit and just stupid people being stupid. It is just stupid people being stupid. But it happens every single fucking time there's a new raid out. It happens every single fucking time. And it's the same customers that do the same fucking whinging. And honestly, really honestly, if you're getting it, just stop. Like stop.
Do you know, we had this talk before, and I was sort of one of the things that I said was if you're gonna, the World's First thing started off more community led, right?
Oh yeah,
yes.
We had this fear.
You didn't get rewards from it, right? You know, now you get the jacket, you get the belt, and Bungie has a lot of buy-in to it, right? And I think if you're gonna do this, there should be guidelines, and the guidelines are there to protect this kind of shit flinging behavior. To say like, no guidelines were broken, it's legitimate, right? To sort of protect those guys who come first. It's like, well, no rules were broken, right? These were the rules that everyone agreed to when you wanted to go for World's First. Okay,
Bungie has certified this result. Go to bed. Shut up.
Yeah, or even whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, however,
you can sit there and say that
they're certifying it. If they obviously have a set of rules that they're certifying World's First for, when they say confirming, are they just seeing if it's complete, or are they going, oh, did anyone do anything dodgy here, or are they just saying, okay, yep, everyone's completed it, they got World's First? I don't know. I think if they're going to have that much buy-in, they should have some criteria.
I'm sure that there's some sort of tracking. I'm sure that there's some sort of tracking on how where they are, where people are, the first people, like the furthest people along. I'm sure there's some sort of fucking tracking in there. They found the fucking German bus drivers, for goodness sake, who had 0 people in their chat.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I'm sure that they have some sort of tracking. But what happened, and I'm going to put the onus on Bungie here, is that it's gone from a community-led event where everyone's just like, GG, well done, chains, blah, 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 to grinding out all the content that you can possibly get for new content to get to the top of the leaderboard in power level. And then once they get to the top of the leaderboard in power level, go through it as fast as possible to make sure that they get the jacket, make sure that they get the emblem, make sure that they get the fucking belt. The onus is on you, Bungie. That is on you. You have turned it from a friendly competition to something very fierce. And the people at the top of the competition, yes, they are very fierce in their competition, but it's not them that's throwing the shade. It's not them that's throwing the shade.
Yeah, I just think they could do something to help protect people who do come first. They're always good. If you're top dog, that comes with the territory too, right? If you're gonna, people are jealous. People are going to accuse you of everything.
That's 2/3 of it, right? Like,
that's always going to happen regardless. But I do think there probably could be some protection mechanisms in place.
Well, I mean,
for those guys.
Like I said, Bungie isn't innocent in this whole thing because they've turned it into a competition.
Look, I think they've sprung board off what they perceived the community wanting, right? Like, because it was basically at a point where we were celebrating the world's first anyway. And they went, well, let's expound upon that. Let's
make it really cool.
Well, and you know what? I can see that. I mean, you can say that the path to hell is paved with good intentions, but like I can totally understand why they are where they are. But they're probably you're probably right in saying that there does need to be some kind of like, okay, this is the rule set. Because at the moment it's a free for all. Like I mean, maybe that's the way it is. It may be that any advantage you can get, you take. Like if Bungie come out and say that, then that's what it is. That's the people who will be rewarded. There's no bitching about anything. But I like it has added an element of, we're seeing people having their livelihood in the short term destroyed because of fuckwits being drawn to this kind of contest, right?
Not destroyed, but damaged.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate to think how much money is tied up in that sort of stuff. And ultimately, I hope that the people who are responsible for it pay. But look, it's been a fuck of a week. Honestly, like I'm glad that we've got new content. We labored on the whole fucking spoiler thing last week and it got worse about a day or so after we fucking said our piece because there were certain publications decided we're just going to talk about it. And yeah, no, fuck it. I'm going to do it.
If anyone deserved a triple uppercut, they're fucking. They could have a simultaneous triple uppercut from the DDU.
Yeah,
we all just go like that.
Yeah, just a team fucking Shoryuken. Just
at the end of the day,
the amount of people that I've spoken to through the week, and like I don't know everyone. I don't know a heap of people who are tied. Like I have an invested interest in the Destiny podcast community, and there was a lot of people that I spoke to. Not that I particularly sorted out. I put a fucking very pointed tweet out, and I think that was why people started coming to me talking about it. But there was a lot of people come to me saying how disappointed they were that look, Fire Team Chat, the IGN podcast, the one that people are paid to put together, that they went straight ahead and spoke about serious fucking spoilers that were data mined from the game that, as to my knowledge, people still aren't able to run into in the game. No. I don't believe so. So, it wasn't even a matter of keeping your dick in your pants for a week. Like the chronology of this could be fucking 2 months from now. And they've spoken about something that people have no access to. For mine, I'm just going to call it as I see it. I think that's fucked. And I think as a journalist, you have a duty to protect the integrity of the game that you're reporting on. There is a level of respect shown to this game by content creators like Matt, and he won't fucking toot his own horn with this, but when what's the fucking name of the law book, Matt? The Truth and Power. When it came out, it was on it was everywhere. Fucking instantly, the second the Forsaken update dropped, and the lore community and everyone involved, and you can go back through people's video feeds and check this, agreed that they would not be covering this out of respect for Bungie and out of wanting to maintain the integrity of the community, and to have a paid publication completely shit on that, and not only that, take that fucking fact. Take the fact that they'd spoken about it and used it to try and promote the fucking thing by putting a tweet out. Literally go and look for Fire Team Chat, and it's Fire Team Chat. Go through IGN's history. Yeah. Look at the reaction of the people who come across that tweet. You'll find the comments range from people telling them to take it the fuck down because no one should be talking about this, and people basically just posting the video spoiler like we spoke about last week. This has done nothing positive for this community. You've done nothing positive for yourself. I hope the clicks were worth it, because for mine, your integrity's fucked. The end.
Oh,
Ladies and
I love
gentlemen.
when Log does a good bloody spiel.
You
It's
know
a
what? You know
good
what? I'm pissed
rant.
off. I was gonna key up dramatic music, so when Sloth goes on a rant, I can start like this.
Get Wrath of the Machine. Get Wrath of the Machine.
Yeah, fuck yeah! I'll find something. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But I think that would have been good with a bit of like, fuck you. You know, like.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've spoken all of we can be speaking about from Destiny this week. If you have any questions, or if you have any statements or some things you want to, if you have anything you want to tell us, add us on Twitter at Mylan Games, at LogPowerSlave, at Realtime Sloth, at DDU_podcast. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell. And we upload once a week on Saturdays. So in the comments, if you made it through this rather large cast, and got put up with all of the things that we've said and all that sort of thing, let's say just type in the chat. What do you reckon, gents?
Yeah, I think what was the theme? What was the theme?
You know what? The theme was triple Shoryuken.
Triple uppercut.
Triple uppercut, triple Shoryuken, whatever. I mean, if you're a Street Fighter fan, go the Shoryuken route. If not, triple uppercut will do.
The triple uppercut is for all the DDoSers out there and Fire Team chat.
And if you are watching live, please make sure you jump into the Discord. You can add us in there. We usually hang out in there if we're playing together and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Plans for the rest of the weekend is that Log's going to go to sleep after having a few more beers, and Matt and I are going to stay up and play. I forgot the Anthem.
I'm gonna do this upload, then I'm gonna play fucking Destiny. I'm just gonna get in there and just grind old content to play the new content.
You're an idiot. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to the live chat. Thank you very much for hanging out. It has been an absolute pleasure to chat with you guys and all that sort of thing. If you are one of our, if you if you listen to it on Podbean or Spotify, thank you very much for your continued patronage. Like I said, if you have any questions, queries, doubts, points, add us on Twitter. Let us know in the YouTube comments below. Ladies and gentlemen, just be good to each other. Legit.
I love this.
No, I like fucking
every time.
Just be good to each other. Like everyone has a moment of madness when they go out and be really aggressive on Twitter, or they go out and be really aggressive with their friends. It's okay to have a conversation and disagree, guys.
Is that pointed at me or?
No, it's pointed at me. It's pointed at you. It's pointed at everyone, mate. Like
I've had a bad
that's
week,
what
man.
it is. That's what it is. So just look after yourselves, guys. And yeah, we have been the Destiny Down Under podcast, and Matt's going to say something really weird for us. So we'll catch you later.
I found the lore today. It was with the WA Raiders clan at the Northbridge Brewing Company, and it was quite good.
Do they genuinely have a beer called the Law? That's pretty rad.
No, it was great.
Shout out to the West Australian Raiders for having literally the best clan tag of all time. Good on you, boys. Dudes and dudettes, I appreciate you. All right, we're going to raid into someone. I'm not sure who yet. I'll figure it out in a minute. But it's been a pleasure. We'll catch you next week. And till then, just don't be fuckwit. We won't have to talk about you.
Yeah. Look after yourselves.